All right, we're live. People funneling in. What's up, Patrick? How you doing?
Doing well. Excited to be here.
I appreciate you making the time. This is a webinar I've wanted to do for a long time, so I'll tell everyone why and why I think this would be so powerful to everyone out there listening. Little ground rules first. We are recording this, so it's going to be recorded. It's on Facebook Live as well. So if you're joining us there, and you haven't actually registered for the webinar, make sure you do so. If you get registered, we'll have your email and we'll know who to send the recording out to. So as soon as this webinar ends, once the recording is done processing, we'll send it out to you. You can rewatch it. You can share it with your team, do whatever you want with it. We'll also have some slides too. So we'll send you a copy of those slides, some really good slides that Patrick has prepared that tell a really cool story. So we will be doing it interactive too. So if you have questions, you want to pop them into the chat, or there's a Q&A feature. Just a little note to my team. We make sure that the chat is enabled for everyone so that they can reach out. A lot of those questions, we'll probably tackle them at the end. So that being said, Patrick, I remember sitting in the audience at Hatch Summit in Fargo, and you basically got on stage and just blew everyone's mind, blew my mind, because you told this story through the numbers that I thought was so powerful and compelling. It shows your growth as a business from really, what do the numbers go back to, like 2017 all the way up till now?
Yeah, I share stuff from 19 and on, but I've been building a team since 17. And if we went too far back, I'd bore you guys. But yeah, the numbers today will start from 19 and on. Yeah.
Okay, it was super powerful. I remember sitting there thinking, man, everyone in Sisu Nation, every team leader, every owner needs to hear this story. And I actually talked to you after. I said, hey, we should do a webinar, and here we are now, right? So yeah. It's going to be fun. So this webinar is for you. The topic is really growing a profitable team that you love to run, right? And this webinar is for you if you are a growing team and you're hyper-focused, wanting to make sure that you continue to be profitable as you grow, and that's one of your core metrics. This webinar is for you if maybe you're thinking, man, I don't really want to grow my team, because you hear these horror stories. We've all heard the horror stories of people who grow these teams, and all of a sudden, it's a much bigger operation, but their profit margins are less. Maybe they're even losing money and they're working twice as much. And then they think, man, I should just go back to being a solo agent, right? We've all heard those horror stories. And, really just as you grow, knowing those numbers, if you are going to build an empire, and if that's in your plans, you've got to know your profitability numbers. And so a lot of good content. We're just going to dive right into it, Patrick. Maybe you could just kind of introduce yourself first, and for those that don't know you, and then we can get into this.
Yeah. 100%. Yes, appreciate the opportunity to be here and shed some light on the numbers and my situation. And I hope that I can pave the road of success for other people, where you guys figure out where I failed and you don't do it again. I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana. So we're a Midwest town. Average purchase price in our area is about $300,000 or so. So you West Coast folks, you got an advantage on us. But I started out in real estate in 2015. I've not been in it very long. I've been in it, honestly, on the upward trajectory, right? 2012 was kind of the bottom of our market in Indianapolis, and I've only seen it go up. So some of you might be listening to this and say, hey, what does this young guy in the business know? I probably don't know as much as you, but I'll teach you what I've learned. I used to be a registered nurse, and I got out of nursing to do real estate back in 2015. When I got into real estate, it was the perfect thing for me. It was entrepreneurial. It was exactly what I wanted. My success was totally predicated on the effort that I gave, and that's what I wanted. And the way that I'm driven, and the way a lot of people listening are driven here today, is I wanted to build a team very quickly.
Yep.
And I wanted to do it in the way that I had been taught through lots of books and podcasts, and that was bring on tons of agents, scale really, really fast, get your volume up high, hire fast, fire fast. And it was a very bad model that was not sustainable or profitable for me. And So back in 2020, through my good friends, Eric Hatch and Robbie T, I got associated with them, and they taught me how to do a micro team model. I did a little different than they taught me, but
Yeah.
it ended up in the same path. It ended up in the same, finale or conclusion, that we were profitable every year.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to share about profitability. I'm absolutely wanting to drive home the idea that growth means complexity. Generally, rapid, expansive growth also means less profitability. And it's very rare to grow and scale huge and be more profitable.
Right.
And everything that y'all know about growing real estate teams, especially if it's bring tons of people in, is going to generally make you less profitable. And so that's what I'm here to share today. And I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, I love it. I mean, we see it. The industry has this obsession over volume and units. And honestly, I think a lot of that is because there's also a problem in the industry of people just not really knowing their numbers, down to the profit numbers, the profit margins, down to profitability per lead source, all of the things that our Sisu clients are really good at because they track it in Sisu, right? But where whatever your focus is, that's where your energy goes, and that's what's going to grow. So if your focus is units and your focus is not profitability, units will probably grow at the expense of profitability, right? And if you're focused on the right numbers and not on those vanity metrics, you're going to grow the profit, which is ultimately what we all got into business to make a profit, right? A healthy business a healthy business needs profit. If it doesn't have profit, it's not going to be very healthy. It's not going to be very fun, right? So let's dive into it. Let's show this journey. Let's show the numbers, and hopefully everyone finds it as interesting as I did.
Absolutely. I'm going to share my screen with y'all. So let's go back to 2019, and I'm going to tell the story of, who I was then. And then obviously we'll get to where I am now. I'm going to go right into the numbers, just like I do if I go to a listing appointment, because that's what people want, right? So in 2019, I had built my team. We'll put quotes around that. I built my team up to about 12 agents. So if you look at the top here, it was me, PK. I had a transaction coordinator that did coordination for all of the agents. And I had 12 independent agents alongside me. 2018, 2017, I had like 4 agents in 17. And then I grew it up to about 8 agents in 18. And then in 19 here, I'm skipping forward, we had about 12 agents. When I put air quotes around the term team, these agents were getting leads from me. They were getting like CRM. They were getting weekly trainings from me. They were getting quite a bit from me, but they all did their own production, right? So when they closed a deal, it was their deal. We had differing split structures based on volume, and that was the way our team was structured. So in 2019, that team here in Indy, we did about 262 transactions that year. Individually, myself, I did 84 transactions that year. So I did 84 of the 262. No, I'm sorry. I did 84 of the 346. We did 346 deals that year. My GCI, so when I say team GCI on these slides, I look at it as me and my team. And at that time, me and my team was a transaction coordinator and I.
Yeah.
And then the brokerage GCI was $856,000 that year. So we had a total GCI in 19 of 1.3 million. Our profit margin that year was really pretty good. It was 32%. And so I was happy with that, right? I mean, 32% in a real estate brokerage is well over where a lot of real estate brokerages are. And I was happy with that, but I was also blinded by the idea of growth. And so I just said, hey, if we did this great in 19, we need to grow expansively in 2020. Growing will just make us more profitable. We'll do more transactions, like you mentioned, Zach. We'll do more volume. I'll be happier and I'll make more money. As you guys could see here in 19, I easily worked about 70 hours a week. So not only did I have my own transactions to manage, my own clients to manage, but I also had to lead 12, 13 people, counting my transaction coordinator. And that takes time. It takes a ton of time. I'm going to get into leadership here in a little bit after we get through the numbers. So let's fast forward to 2020. We had a rapid growth year in 2020 because I was, again, blinded by the idea of just rapid growth and how that would solve all of our problems. You guys can kind of see already the trend here. I went from 12 agents to 30 agents in 1 year. Grew really fast. It was honestly mostly word of mouth growth, but also me seeking out, telling people our doors were open. Total transactions in 2020. Now, I will also, a lot of us here listening, in 2020, we went through a little bit of a downturn, like momentarily with COVID, right? Well, I don't know if y'all know a whole lot about Indiana, but a lot of people in Indiana kind of pretended that COVID wasn't real. And so we didn't really see a huge slowdown in 2020. You will see that I had 30 agents in 2020. You can skip down to that total transactions row there, and you can see that we did 334. Well, if you look back at 2019 with less than half the agents, we did more transactions. So we grew double or more the amount of agents in 2020, and we did less transactions in 2020. And transparently, a market that COVID really didn't affect a whole lot in Indiana.
Also interesting, you actually, your personal production went up. You're doing 100 almost yourself.
Yeah. So I did 96 of those 334 deals in 2020. But our total transactions went down. The decrease in GCI on my team GCI was interesting, right? Because our GCI went down for me in 2020 with more deals. I had a construction agreement that year, didn't make as much per deal working with a new construction deal. That's kind of what played into that. But our brokerage GCI was about 1.2. Our total GCI was 1.6 in 2020. The big key metric I want you to see here is that our profitability dropped 6% in a year where we had a lot more people, a ton more people, a ton more complexity. And you would assume as a team leader, if you brought on 18 agents in a year, that you'd make more money. If you're sharing a split structure.
Right.
We didn't. We made less money, a significant amount. I mean, 6% of $1.5 million is a lot of money. I don't want to do the math on that, but that's a lot.
Too painful to be.
Yeah. And notice the last metric here is I worked more. I mean, there was easily weeks where I was putting 80 hours a week. I was putting 15, 16 hours in a day over and over and over again because I was managing 30 people. Okay. Whether or not they had a leader that they reported to, I still had to manage 30 people. So we grew significantly in 2020.
Just diving in and getting a little personal with this. I mean, what does personal life look like at this point with, 80 plus hours a week, right? I can imagine that's a lot, right?
Yeah. This is the story I told at the summit. And when I do this presentation in 2020, I had a 2-year-old daughter. And her name is Elsie, and she's everything to me. And in 2020, around 2 years old, everybody knows that a baby that's 2 is going to have some challenges, terrible twos or whatever. But we really noticed that Elsie's behavior declined significantly in 2020. And we also realized that when I was giving my daughter intentional time, her behavior improved. She was missing time with her father. My wife was missing time with me. My extended family was missing time with me. And I was losing money in the process. And I remember going to my accountants at the end of 2020, and I said, I literally lived a year in hell and paid my agents to do it.
Right.
I was losing significant amounts of money and also living in a worse quality of life. So yeah, my numbers looked great. My agent numbers looked great. When I was at the brokers meetings and stuff, everybody's like, man, Patrick, you grew from this to this, you're killing it. Like, how are you getting all these people in the door? And I'm sitting there with a smile on my face. Like, yeah, I am doing great, and I'm not.
Yeah.
My numbers were really declining. So
Because
personally,
we're in an industry that can be obsessed with those vanity metrics, right? They just see the agents and the units, right? So
absolutely. Ego
yeah.
got in the way with me. The growth sounded sexy and it wasn't.
Wow. Okay.
So in 2021, I implemented my micro team model. It's not my model, right? I learned this model from Hatch and Robbie. When I say I did it just a little bit differently than they did, but with the same people, just a different time. Okay.
Yeah.
So in 2021, implemented the micro team. And you guys will kind of see here what happened. So in 2021, I made two big hires in 2021. I hired a partner, an agent partner, which I'll teach you guys about if we have time today, which is my goal. I hired an admin. These are salaried people, okay? And then I obviously kept my TC. She did a great job. And I cut 10 agents. There were 10 agents that were either not producing or just really bad culture fits. If you guys have read the pumpkin plan, they were the pumpkins that were sucking all the life off the vine. And my big pumpkins were shrinking because they were sucking the juice off the vine. And when I say my big pumpkins, I mean, I had independent agents that were really, really great. And also myself, also my TC, the people that supported me. These agents were pulling resources and leads and everything away from the people that were producing. So we made some cuts. Transparently, in 2020, we got down to 20 agents, and in 2021, we got down to 20 agents. We got 10 agents. We probably could have went a little slimmer too, but we didn't do it in 2021. We did it for the rest of this year. So look what happens. So I get a partner, an agent partner, a salaried agent partner. I get an admin and a TC. I actually bring on more salary responsibility, right? I get more overhead, but I do it in the right way. And my individual transactions went up to 111. Brokerage transactions went down because we lost people.
Yeah.
Total transactions 321 that year. Team GCI shot way up. So the GCI went way up. We were able to collect more in commissions. We were able to do more deals because we had a really great, robust micro team. Brokerage GCI was at 1.4. So total, we were at like 2.2 in total GCI. My profitability went up again. So after bringing on more overhead, my profitability went up. So the year 2020, we were at 26%. Sorry, we were at 23%. And then in 2021, we were at 25%. Big key metric here is also my time.
Yeah.
So I'm at 50 hours a week now in 2021 with this micro team model, and dollar per hour went up, it skyrocketed. Got a lot of my time and my personal life back.
Daughter's behavior now is right up there, right? It's just perfect, right? No problems.
Never any problems. Now she's 4. Never any problems. So really great. 2022 though, we're really proud about. So in a year where a lot of folks have had some trouble, right? So this year has been challenging. I implemented the micro team model in 2021. So as any of you business owners know, there's like lag measures. And when you bring something on to change your stars, it takes a while to change your stars. And in 2022, we are reaping all the benefits from the micro team creation in 21. So now the team structure looks different in 2021. It's me, it's an admin, it's a partner, it's the same transaction coordinator, it's another partner, a newer ISA, and then we went down in independent agents a little bit more. So we scaled down even more in independent agents here in 2022. And now the individual transactions, I need to update that. That's not even right. This is the number that I didn't send you guys that was updated. We're at 140 deals.
Very cool.
So we're sitting at the end of 2022 at 140 deals. This number is correct. Our team GCI here. I didn't update this. We're at 140 deals this year as a team, my micro team. And we've done over $1 million in GCI. Now check out the profitability. So profitability here this year has gone up again, another 2 or 3 percentage points. And we continue to increase profitability with increased overhead and decreased agents. We're continuing to be more and more profitable every year. And you'll see that our year-to-date brokerage GCI, meaning the numbers coming from the brokerage or the agents, it keeps decreasing every year, but our profitability keeps increasing. And that's all about how your micro team is structured, which I'd love to get in the nuts and bolts in that. But my hours per week continue to drop because of my help, and our profitability continues to increase.
What I love about this, obviously the numbers are awesome. The the hours per week, the hours worked per week, and the lifestyle benefits of that, amazing. And what I'm seeing, and correct me if I'm wrong, Patrick, but you made back in 2020, 2021, made a big investment in culture and in getting the right people on your team, right? So growing kind of this core team around you, and that's a message that it's just, you got to get the right people, and you got to invest in your culture as a leader. That will always pay dividends. And when I look at this, I see that, yes, you changed your model, but you made a huge investment in those two things. And, and seem like you're having a lot more fun running this business than the 2020 business, right?
100%. Yeah. The way the micro team works is that, like you said, Zach, it is a huge injection of yourself into these people. You're giving so much of your time and energy to make these people great and make sure that they represent you appropriately and represent the company appropriately, and that they're growing and they're learning and they're trying to accomplish all their goals, versus the traditional, team or brokerage model where it's like, hey, I'm going to bring a ton of you in. I'm going to rah you up. I'm going to give you a week's worth of training, and then I'll check in with you every week on one-on-ones, but I'm not really going to hold you accountable to come to them because there's 25 of you and I can't do all that. And the culture starts to collapse. And then the numbers start to collapse. So that's why I really believe in this micro team model. It works.
So we got some questions here, and I think this is really where we're going next with this. Paul asked, what support do you provide to the individual agents? And then what roles do the agent partners play? Getting some questions about, what exactly it means, agents without leads, and why would you have an ISA? So I think a lot of those will get answered here, just kind of breaking down your model.
Yeah, let's just go right into the micro team model. I'm going to share my screen again, and kind of help you guys through that. So this is a snapshot of my team right now. I have independent brokers that are also independent agents inside of my brokerage. Okay. And they eat what they kill. So short answer, for the independent agent side of my brokerage, these people get, a place to rest their head, or a place to work, I should say. So they get to come into our office. They get our systems, all of our systems and CRMs and all the things that we have, but they eat what they kill. Okay. We, in 2020 and 2021, when we did this recalibration, the leads and everything came back to the team, my team, because we were the ones that were actually converting them. Guys, if there's probably one thing where teams lose their profitability, it's mostly in providing leads to their agents.
With no accountability and probably not the right split structure.
Yes. Providing leads to agents, you're exactly right, Zach. No accountability, wrong structure, and commissions. There's a lot of money spent in leads and no accountability following it up. And there's a ton of money lost there. That's where we were losing a lot of money in that big year where we sold a ton of houses and had a ton of agents. And so we rerouted the leads to our team. And then I'll kind of explain my team to you guys. So this is how it starts. This is how the micro team started. With me. You guys heard already that I started with a transaction coordinator. All right. So in my mind, if you're an agent in your marketplace and you want to do this and you want to do this the right way, if you're doing 20 to 30 transactions a year and you're doing this on your own, you've got to hire a transaction coordinator first. That's my opinion on how this works, or an admin. Okay. I went transaction coordinator because most of us, we're not really into the details of the deal. We're not into drawing up agreements and making sure things close on time. We want to go find more people to serve, and we want to negotiate deals. That's what we want to do.
Yeah.
So that's what I did. I got my transaction coordinator. I stuck with it. If you guys remember my trajectory, I stuck with just the transaction coordinator and I for a good 3.5 years before I even implemented the Microteam model. It was just her and I and a bunch of agents for several years. The second step in the Microteam model for me was I hired an agent partner. Now this is a big section of time here, because I think this for me was the biggest hire and the best hire in this time for me. An agent partner in my world and a lot of Microteam's worlds has 3 jobs, and it's 3 L's. They should leverage you, they should learn from you, and they should lead generate for you. What do I mean by leverage? They should absolutely show homes for you. I hate to break it to all the agents in the world, but most clients don't care who's showing them the home. They care who's serving them the most and who's getting them the best terms and who's understanding their situation the most. They want the relationship. The showing of the home piece, that's aside. So a partner agent should show homes for you. They should run signs for you. They should sit in on closings if you can't for you. They're taking the lowest dollar per hour activities off of your plate. Y'all are great agents, and y'all need to be going and finding opportunities, especially in 2022 and 2023, when those opportunities are lessening. And we've seen it, 20-30% reductions in our marketplace, in not price, but activity. There's 20 or 30% less activity in the market. So we got to go out there and we got to find it. Whatever your form of leverage is, the partner needs to do it. The second L is learning, okay? A partner should be learning from you every single day. They should be in close proximity with you every single day. They should be hearing how you lead generate. They should be driving in the car with you to listing appointments. They should be literally talking about how to be a better agent every single day, and you should be watching them be a better agent every single day. And the last L in the 3 L's that a partner does is they should be lead generating. Mm-hmm. This person should be, in my opinion, as your first hire, somebody who is a master lead converter and a database manager just like you, so that you know that your precious leads, whether you've paid for them or not, are being managed and taken care of. The way we structured our first partner is that they pretended to be me initially in emails and texts to leads, and they did call the leads on behalf of me. For most of you guys, you've built a great reputation. People are reaching out online for you, and you may be having somebody else call these leads that isn't you. So the partner is really your resource. It's your right-hand person. Let's talk about financials for a partner. I've heard it kind of like all over the country in this model. In our state here in Indiana, we pay a agent partner $30,000 a year. After they've brought in 9 deals to my team, meaning they've lead generated 9 deals themselves, and we do those deals under my name, and we do them together as partners. After they've done 9 deals, then they earn the right to earn commissions on any deal that they help me serve. So in our world, they get 5 to 10% on any deal that they've helped me serve. Have they showed homes? Have they went and ran some listing coordination paperwork to somebody? Did they help me serve this deal? Yes, they get an extra percentage on that, okay? A partner in Indiana can make $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 a year. That's a good living for somebody who wants to support somebody, okay? We've heard it across the country. Some partners are making $40,000 or $50,000 a year with percentages. So it really just depends on your market, and I'd be happy to talk to y'all individually on what makes sense for you guys. It's very important with your partners that you have car time. It's important that you spend really intentional time to make them the best agent. The reason partnerships work is because it's a paid internship from them, from you, sorry. They're learning the best from you every single day. They get to sit next to a rainmaker agent every single day, and you get to prevent that 1 out of 5 rule from happening, meaning only 1 out of every 5 agent makes it. Like, you're preventing that from happening with them being in close proximity to you. They make it and they thrive. That's why they work. Would love to talk to you guys more about that. After
I do, sorry for everyone in the chat. I do see all your questions coming in. We'll kind of rapid fire those as we continue, and you got everyone's gears turning, Patrick. So this is great. But let's keep going, and then we'll hit the questions, and keep dropping your questions in so that we can get to them.
Yeah, I want to answer all of them. Yep. So after I hired a partner, okay. Let me take a step back. This is probably, I haven't seen the questions, but it might be answering some of the questions on why this single person helps enhance your profitability. Okay, you make a $10,000 commission. In the old team model, okay, and like what you've read in all the books, and I won't say the books, but what you've read in the books is like, hey, go hire yourself a buyer's agent, okay? And when you get too busy, just start throwing deals to that buyer's agent. Okay. And then, give them 30, 40, 50%, because, and some people I've heard even still give them like 60%, or more, because they're taking it off your plate. Right. So
there was a question earlier, like what would you mean by the wrong split structure? Just too high. You're giving them too much, and it doesn't leave enough for you to run your business. Like what you just mentioned, Patrick. And
then there's lag problems with that too, right? So let's say you're doing that model and you're like, hey, I'm so busy. My cousin called me. I can't take this. Hey, buyer's agent, take this and I'll pay you a 50% split on this. Okay. The buyer's agent does it. Yes, the buyer's agent takes it off your plate and you keep 50% of that deal. You haven't touched the deal. That sounds amazing. That sounds glorious on the surface. 5 to 7 years from now, believe it or not, your cousin's probably going to call the buyer's agent when they move again, because you didn't help them. You conveyed that you didn't really care to take that business anymore from them, and they're going to call the buyer's agent. And the buyer's agent's going to then keep 70, 80, 90%, whatever the crazy split structures are, because it's their deal now. Okay. And that's their client now. And that just continues to happen in the future. Whereas in the partner model, guys, you take that $10,000 commission. That's your deal with a partner helping you serve it. Even if you have to give 5 to 10% of that commission, and you got to give it to your partner like you should for serving it, this deal is still being ran through you. You're helping your partner with it. You're checking in with the client. You're keeping the relationship there while the partner is doing that lower dollar per hour stuff for you. Okay. And believe it or not, there's a lot of people that enjoy doing this. Karen, my first partner agent, she doesn't want to have to worry about putting out fires. She doesn't want to have to worry about all of the bad stuff that comes with doing a deal. She wants to help my clients and she wants to serve them at a high level, and she loves it. So now you're keeping 90% of that commission. And oh, by the way, 5 to 7 years from now, when they move again, who are they going to call? They're going to call you, or they're going to call that partner, and that partner's still going to be there with you, or you're still doing it, right? And so you get to keep that residual income that has that comes from having a past client sphere of influence base. That's one of the big key metrics that I think probably people are asking, like, what's the true difference? That's a big difference there.
Yeah.
All right, so after the partner, my next step in my trajectory was an admin. Okay, so I had my transaction coordinator who was just doing transaction coordination for us, and then I had my partner agent, and then we hired an admin. I think that you need an admin if you're doing 50 plus transactions a year, because you need help in leverage and marketing. You need help in some office work. If you own your own brokerage or you own your own team, you need help in HR. You need help with some personnel help. You need help with like listing coordination, paying people out, splits, all those kinds of things. And that admin took a ton off of my plate in 2020 and 2021, so that my partner agent and I could still focus on serving our people and working more deals. So that was the third hire in the micro team model. Admins in our marketplace, you probably get, between 30 and 50,000 bucks, depending on their hours and their time and what they're doing for you and their experience. More overhead, yes, but you guys have already seen that's more profitable. That's why I wanted to hit the numbers first. For me, the fourth step was another partner. So you guys saw the numbers in 2021. I did 111 deals. You guys heard from me our 2022 deals. We're at 140 right now. 140 deals. Your agent partner could completely burn out. Completely burn out. And so for me, I think that, retroactively looking back, if you guys get to the point where you hire a partner and you're at about 70 deals or more, it's time for you to look into a second partner. Okay. Your agent partner, if they're all alone and you're doing more than 70, 75 deals a year, they're going to also be working 65 hours a week. Easy. Showing homes for you, leveraging you in every single way. Now, here's the beautiful thing about it that also helps us be more profitable. By bringing on a second agent partner, our overhead went up, right? Yes, absolutely did. But you guys remember, one of the 3 L's of being a partner is lead generating. So by bringing on this additional partner, his name was Zach in our micro team.
Great name. Perfect name. No wonder he did well. Yeah.
Really good dude. He was a hunter. So looking back, as I teach this model out now to more and more people, I'm going to say, I think your first agent partner needs to be a supporter and your second agent partner needs to be a hunter. Okay, because at first you need a ton of support as a rainmaker. Secondly, you need a little bit more support, but you also need a hunter. And Zach went out and hunted. And in Zach's first year, he did 25 transactions as a partner under me, transparently working 40, 50 plus hours a week, just serving my people. Okay. Not even lead generating himself. He was a busy guy just serving my people, but he got to learn from me every single day on how to lead generate, how to build relationships. He heard me calling leads. He heard me talking to Sphere clients. He heard me checking in on my Sphere. He saw me do it. And he literally just wanted to be like me and himself. He wants to do 140 deals a year.
Nice.
And so in his first year, he did 25 deals and only really having probably 20 hours a week to work on it because he was serving my stuff so much. Right. And as you guys know, that's at least 3 times more than the average agent in the country in the first year. So this model continues to show itself that it works. And guys, those deals that he brought in belong to the team. Okay. So it's more revenue for the team. It's more, it's way more GCI, and obviously affects our bottom line and the profit. And
just a couple questions here. What the pay structure on the agent partners?
Yeah. So Zach and Karen in our market in Indy, this works. They got paid $30,000 salaries. These are my agent partners. $30,000 a year salaries. After they bring in 9 deals themselves, they have the opportunity to gain anywhere from 5 to 10% on leads that they help, deals that they help me serve. So if they're my clients and they help me serve them, showing homes, doing anything that helps in service, I gave them 5 to 10% after they brought in their 9 deals. Okay. If they converted a lead from our lead database, whether it was Zillow or our website, I gave them 10%. So you guys know, a lot of folks have ISAs. They generally pay an ISA, a salary plus 5 to 10% if they close a deal. I use my partners like ISAs. And so they got 10% on any lead that they converted. So a $30,000 a year salary, if they converted a lead, they got 10% on that. And if they served that lead, they could stack an extra 5 to 10% on that.
Mhm.
If they brought in a sphere deal completely on their own, I'm more generous on this than the other Microteam models I've seen. I let them keep 30% of that. But what I want you guys to hear is that at its least for the team, we were keeping at least 70% of every transaction. And that obviously is going to positively affect your bottom line.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But guys, it's not all about my money. It's not all about the teams being profitable. Zach and Karen as agents got, I want to cuss, but I'll leave it back. They got kick butt training, paid internship training to be a rainmaker agent in a year, got paid for it, right? Got paid a salary for it. And truthfully, they probably would have never got into the industry had they not had the opportunity to have the salary. And I found 2 incredibly talented people that would have never got in the industry and were able to place them alongside me so we could do big things with a salary. And now Zach's stars are changed. 25 deals in his first year. Okay. Easily could probably pull off 45 to 65 deals in his next year because he's got so much trajectory going now. As you guys know, it takes 3-6 months to get it going.
Mhm.
Karen's doing the job that she loves, making great money, helping me support our clients. And they are also living big, good lives. And that is ultimately what's important. So I can sit there and talk about like the profit all day long, but these guys are doing what they love and they're learning so much faster than they would on their own.
That's that investment in leadership and getting the right people on the bus and then growing those people, which always pays dividends. So
if there's one thing that I'd say about training these people is they have to watch you do it a lot. Do it, whatever it is. Go to listing presentations, convert leads, whatever it is. They have to watch, listen, and see you do it. And then you have to watch them do it. Okay, like that's the biggest piece we all miss is we'll say, hey, this is how you do it, go do it, and we'll set them free. Well, they have to, or sorry, you have to watch them do it. You have to make sure they're doing it like you did it.
Mhm.
And give them feedback. Hold them accountable to the things that they're supposed to be doing. And then once they have proven that they're doing what you showed them, then they can go and do. So you can't just bring on a partner agent and be like, hey, get to work, listen to me, just go do your thing. You have to hold them accountable. You have to be watching their metrics, making sure that they're making their calls, create challenges for them, create games for them, and then be in close proximity to them. And then they can go and do once they've proven it to you.
Cool. All right, let's keep moving here. Because I know we got some more.
Yeah. So the most recent hire that I brought on was an ISA. So we're doing 140 transactions a year now, right? So my partner agents are busy. They're crazy busy. And Zach wants to grow. Zach wants to, start doing more deals. And I have to customize a way for him to go do more deals, go live that big life that he wants. Karen wants to continue supporting me. And so I have to customize a way for her to live a bigger life and for her to have more time personally. And one of the biggest things that they had mentioned to me was the time it takes to convert leads. It takes a ton of time to convert leads. In our marketplace, it almost takes like 30 contact attempts just to get a lead to come back to us.
Wow.
Between email, text, and calls. So it was time for us to hire an ISA. So we hired an ISA into our team. And ISA's sole job, inside sales agent, is to go and convert those leads and to bring it back to the team so that I and my partner agents can serve them. And that's the latest iteration of our team. We have looked into hiring some team members or some team agents, and that's going well. But this was the origination of the Microteam. This is where the Microteam has gone. And this is what has created that 140 plus transaction a year machine that is also very profitable.
Right.
And you're looking at 5 salaries there, guys. Like there's 5 salaries on that board. And it's still incredibly profitable. Yeah, I'd love to answer some questions about this and make sure I'm hitting everybody's thoughts.
Yeah, couple questions here. How's ISA compensated?
Yeah, so our ISA makes a $40,000 a year salary, and then any leads that they convert and bring into the team, they get 10%.
Cool. Still getting some quiet. Everyone's fascinated with the agent partner. So
yeah,
agent partner. So to recap, agent partner gets a flat payment. That's basically a salary. You kind of see it as like a paid internship. Like how you've seen this across like all the markets. Like I know there's people running this in California, in Washington. Like, do you see that change, or how does that change? With some of the conversations.
Yeah, I've heard some salaries for agent partners in like Washington State being around $45,000 a year.
Yeah.
With the same structure of after they've earned their stripes, everything is earned and nothing is given. After they've earned their stripes and they bring in a certain amount of deals, or they provide a certain amount of leverage to you, or however you want to manage it, then they can earn pieces of commissions. Serving those clients will get them a small slice of the commission as well. Because you guys have to remember, these are your people that they're serving. They should get paid for serving them, but they're also your folks. So I've heard 45K a year for a partner. I've heard 30K a year for a partner. It's the way you want to look at the salary in your market if you're considering hiring a partner. And guys, please reach out to me if you want to hire a partner, because the interview process for a partner is probably the most important interview process for anybody that you bring on. This is your right-hand person that's going to do literally life with you. And you got to make sure they're representing you well. And you have to make sure that they're going to be ready for the craziness that a rainmaker can bring. Life will be crazy for them. I forget where I was going on that.
It's good you mentioned that, because I think a lot of people see this and be like, because there's a lot of emphasis on recruiting in the market right now. And I actually do think recruiting is the answer to just about everything. And what you're talking about right now is recruiting. You got to get the right people on the bus, right?
100%.
And then provide them with the right leadership so that they grow. Make them successful on your team, where they might be one of the 4 out of 5 that fail on someone else's team, right?
Yeah.
So,
man, I'm so glad you brought recruiting up. So guys, look at me as the prime example of bringing a ton of people in and it crashing and making you least profitable.
Yeah.
Okay. I am not saying that you don't recruit. Please hear me when I'm saying this. I believe that you got to go deep before you can go wide. Okay. A lot of us are like solo agents out there. We may have a transaction coordinator, we may have an admin or whatever, but we're just like hustling and hustling and hustling. And then the market's getting hard and everybody's like, bring people in. And you're hustling. You have no real help. You probably don't have time to be a leader. And then you're going out and going wide and like, I'm going to bring 5, 6, 7 agents into my team this year so I can, bring more revenue in and we can out revenue this market. It's not wrong. Like, you might bring in more revenue, but you're not going to be profitable. So you have to get your home base together. And that is getting true help here, going deep, being intentional with a small group of people. I don't think that you can lead more than 5, 6, 7 people at a time. Like, you can't be a good leader for more.
There's a lot of studies on that. If you have, 7+ direct reports, to truly lead them in a, as a direct report fashion, it's tough.
Yeah.
Some say it can't be done. So
get your people. And one of those people is probably an admin, like you guys see my thing, right? Mm-hmm. And you're also developing leaders in your people now that are really close to you. Then go wide. Then you can bring people in that these partner agents can now lead in a way, because they've learned from the best leader. So I'm not saying don't recruit. Okay. We still have plenty more agents on top of my micro team. It's not just my micro team, right? But you've got to stay deep here before you can go wide.
So I've got a couple things here, and just parlay for those of you with Sisu. I want to show you some things that are so valuable for building that core, because I think there's two parts to it. Your processes, your systems have got to be dialed. Like when you talk about going deep before you go wide, like as soon as you start bringing on people and those processes and systems aren't dialed, your onboarding, your transaction coordination, everything, right? It's going to expose that really quick, right? And then just knowing your numbers, right? I imagine at some point, Patrick, getting to this kind of realization. I mean, you knew it because you're working, so many hours and profit was going down, but if you hadn't ran those numbers, it'd be really easy to maybe just think, oh, this is just how it is, right? And just kind of keep going. So a couple things for those of you that are with Sisu, where I would focus. If you're thinking, man, like I want to improve, I want to grow profitability, the first thing, the most important thing, you have to understand, you can't just be looking at your units and your transaction count. You need to be looking at income, net income on a month-to-month basis, right? This is an example of a report in Sisu. So if you're on Sisu, go reports, go income monthly summaries. We make it really easy to track all of this so that basically every month, kind of like how Patrick showed you those slides. And I imagine before you were on Sisu, it took a while to put those slides together, right? Patrick has probably like a good little weekend project for you, right? We can just have this for you month over month over month over month. So you can see what was my unit count, what was my volume, what was my gross commission, after referrals, what did I pay out to agents, what's my overhead on salaries here. So this is your net GCI income, overhead expense that detracts from that. And this is your net income month over month, right? So the teams that are running this in Sisu, because they're hyper fixated on that net income number, and this is the report where they live and die out of this report every single month, right? They are not building businesses that are focused on those, top level vanity metrics that can lead you down a path that you really don't want to go to, right? So this is a great report for that. If you're already on Sisu, if you're not, make sure you get with our team. They can talk you through just tracking and making it really easy to know your profitability numbers, right? And then I would just point at like some of the just the basics, pretty much every team. And I think before you were on Sisu, Patrick, it was, maybe the same for you, but a lot of teams out there tracking this stuff on spreadsheets, right? Just manually putting numbers into spreadsheets, which is an efficiency problem. It's a visibility problem. It's probably an accuracy problem. So make it really easy to just import those spreadsheets into Sisu, connect it with your CRM. There was a question on what CRM you're running, Patrick. Are you running Sierra? Is that right?
Sierra Interactive. Yep.
Sierra Interactive. Okay, cool. A lot of people, but we'll connect with Sierra. We'll connect with Boomtown. We'll connect with Commissions Inc. We'll connect with pretty much all the major CRMs out there. But very quickly being able to pull up a list of your pendings, right? And then going into those pendings and seeing all the task work that's happening, right? So this is the efficiency part, right? If you're tracking something in your CRM, something in a spreadsheet, something in like a Monday.com or a Trello, and all of these pieces all require manual entry, right? That's an efficiency issue that is very quickly going to expose itself when you start going wide, right? So a lot of teams that we talk to, they had 3 transaction coordinators at 200 transactions, and now at 700 transactions, they have 1, right? And like an international team that they leverage. So just wanted to make sure, for people that are on Sisu or looking at it, those income reports, the income monthly summaries, that's a gold mine for you as a leader. Getting your systems dialed in so you're not having all that manual entry, because as you grow, if you're going wide and not going deep on these things, it shows itself really quick, right? So I know we're running up on time here, Patrick, and so many questions, and I thought we'd be able to get to them all. But how do we get in contact with you? If you mentioned like, hey, talk to me if you're looking to hire a partner. There's some interview questions. Like, how do we get in touch with you for that?
Yeah, so if you guys just go to meetpk.co, you guys will be able to get a hold of me there. There's you can grab a copy of the free book that kind of shows you how to do this blueprint that Eric Hatch and Robbie wrote. You guys can reach out to me through there to have like a 30-minute consultation on how the partnership works. I'd love to share all of my knowledge so that you guys can not make the mistakes that I did and have a profitable team that also you love doing life with.
I love that. That's ultimately we want to turn a profit. We want to enjoy doing it, right? If either one of those is missing, we've got a freaking problem, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, drop that in the chat. Meetpk.co. Definitely talk with Patrick. If you're on Sisu already, one of the most powerful things that I could recommend, we are doing a workshop. So if you've been using Sisu for a while and you're like, man, I'd really love to get my numbers dialed in a little more, get that efficiency dialed in. We do have a workshop coming up here in Salt Lake in January. Great time to be in Salt Lake. Go up to Park City, get a day in if you ski, snowboard. Overall, just a great time to be out this way. My team is dropping a link that will get you discounted tickets to that. Let's see if I can make it clickable for you guys. There we go. So if you're on Sisu, come out to Salt Lake. Even if you're not on Sisu, come out to Salt Lake. There's going to be a lot of great content on just building an efficient, profitable, great culture team. And we do have a discount code for that. By the way, we'll be emailing this all out to y'all. So if you're like, oh my gosh, writing notes, watch for an email that will come through. And if you're not on Sisu and you're wondering like, well, will Sisu integrate with my CRM, or can it do this thing that I do in my spreadsheets, or how would I replace Trello with Sisu? Grab a demo with our team. So that's just sisu.co/demo. And my team is ahead of me on that one. So links are in the chat. Links are going to go out in the email. Talk with Patrick. And Patrick, just, thanks again, man. Thank you for making the time. I know you're busy, but you're not as busy. This would have been harder to do back in 2020, right? So you got a little more leverage now. So thank you for making the time.
Yeah, I love it. I have a passion for teaching people, coaching people through this, going around the country and talking to teams on how to implement this and talking to team leaders. So I love the opportunity to do this. I really appreciate it.
I love highlighting success, love highlighting people who are crushing it, loving it. So thanks for showing us that. Thanks for showing us. I think for a lot of us, this is a totally different angle. And that's, what I saw at Hatch was just, this cool story. So thanks again, everyone. Watch for that email to come out. I'm sorry if we couldn't get to all your questions, but respond to our email, or, grab a time with Patrick and we can go deeper on this stuff. So cool. I think that's about it. Thanks, everyone. Have a great, what day is it? Wednesday? Yeah. Have a great Wednesday. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, everybody.